Hi, teachers. Let's talk about how students need goals to scaffold their independent and collaborative work. Why is that? Why are goals so important? Well, one reason is to help students avoid information and opportunity overwhelm. 600 years ago, almost no one had access to even one copy of their own book. Today, there are over 4.54 billion pages on the internet alone. It's a moment when any learner of any age can easily become overwhelmed and distracted by all of that noise. Goals help learners identify what it is they want to learn and then prioritize which pathway they'll take to get there. A second reason is agency. More and more educators are working to create high agency environments as a matter of equity and inclusivity. Agency is the opportunity for students to exert power over their own learning. It helps us avoid the power structures and compliance culture of the past and equip students to own their own mission both now and into the future. But in order to exercise agency well, students need to learn to set goals that they then hold themselves accountable for. So, how does that relate to a blended learning arc? Well, as you'll recall from previous work we've done together, if educators want to set up a flexible blended learning model, one way to do that is to think about a sequence that includes group discussion, independent work that students drive on their own, collaborative work that they do in teams, and then another group discussion to reflect on how that sequence went. Meanwhile, teachers are engaged on one-on-one check-ins with each student to tutor them, to give them feedback, and to collaborate with them. So, goals play an important part in a blended learning arc. They're especially critical for independent work, where students are usually using an online learning platform to make progress on their own. Goals at the beginning of the week help students identify how many points do they want to earn, how many units do they plan to accomplish, how far do they plan to get with their writer's workshop, and so forth. Goals are also important for collaborative work sprints, where students at the beginning of the week can reflect on how many milestones do they want to hit, what team meetings do they plan to schedule, where do they want to be with their project or game by the end of the week or end of the day. Goals are also helpful for group discussions. So even though goals are especially important to scaffold those independent and collaborative work sprints, you can use your group discussions to tee up your students for success. So for example, you might plan a morning launch discussion to launch your students into their independent or collaborative work by holding up an example of a great Olympian who was able to get faster and faster at running the mile, and show the goals that that Olympian set in order to be able to make that progress, and then discuss what was it about those goals and what strategies did that Olympian use to achieve those goals that helped that Olympian become so successful. You're planting a seed in that student that then allows them to think about how do they want to set goals as they approach their independent or collaborative work. You can also end the work sprint with another group discussion to reflect on how the student goals went and to think about how they might want to tweak them for their next iteration. Goals also can figure into your one-on-one check-ins. Those are a great time for you to meet one-on-one with each student and reflect on their goals. Ask some questions to think about, did they set goals that were the right challenge zone for them? Were they stuck? What did they do when they got stuck? What goals might they want to set for the next work sprint? And those kind of questions. Goals are powerful ways in high agency settings to help learners self-regulate, anticipate where it is they want to go, and then break it down into concrete steps that they'll take to achieve their goals.